Hey, I'm back here at the cabin build. It's Shannon from houseimprovements.com, and the guys are getting ready to pour the basement slab. You can see down here they've got all the rebar in. They've put the beam in and the post and everything over in this area. So let's climb down the hole and have a little closer look at what they did for the rebar. Okay, so I'm down in the hole now, and we're just going to have a little closer look at the rebar and you know, kind of what they did, how they did it, and why they did it, for one thing. So your rebar is going to be in the concrete, embedded in the concrete, and that helps give the concrete a little bit more strength, right? So of course your concrete on its own has strength just with the mixture of cement to sand and everything else. But the rebar gives it a little extra strength from cracking and moving around and that sort of thing. So before they do the rebar though, they've got to put down a poly, in my area anyways, and pretty much anywhere, they've got to put down a poly liner in the bottom. And this is going to, in our case, do a few things. It's going to keep moisture from coming up through the rock and through the ground, and you know, causing that concrete floor to be constantly damp or wet. And then the other thing it's doing in my area, we talked about this before in another video, was the chance of radon coming up through the ground in my area. So as well as the moisture, this in here is going to keep the radon gases from coming up into the house. But in order for that to happen, they've got to seal all the edges and penetrations and everything. So you can see here how they've sealed this poly right down to the inside edge of the footing. They've sealed this. This is actually the radon pipe. They've sealed that. And then these other penetrations through the poly, anywhere there was more plumbing and stuff, they sealed all of that, as you can see, as well as they possibly can to get it ready. Over here you can see that the poly wasn't wide enough. They started from this side and worked their way over, and this was the end of the roll, or the edge of the roll, so they had to add another piece. So they've overlapped it by a couple feet and taped this seam. That the blue that you see is all just like a house wrap tape, basically vapor barrier tape. So they've gone around and sealed everything up. What's happening here with the rebar, you can see all these squares, right? So it was spec'd to be 10M rebar, so the 10M is the diameter, basically ½ inch of the rebar itself. And then the bars were to be placed at, I actually think it was spec'd 2 feet on center, but they're closer to 16 inches here on center. I'd have to go back and check the paperwork, but if nothing else, they're even more rebar in here than needed to be. But if you look closely here, you can see these wire ties. So where the rebar overlaps, they put a wire tie around there and tie it. And usually every second bar is what they tie. So you can see there's one here, skipped one, there's one over there. Now this is tied where they had to extend the bar and double things up, so it's got some extra ties on it. But for the most part, in most cases, unless it's spec'd differently, you can skip every second bar, every second intersection with your tie, and get it all laid out. But you can kind of, if you look along there, you can see the grid pattern. It's not all super symmetrical or anything like that, but it's more than good enough for what has to happen here. And then they leave it a little ways away from the edge of the ICF form down here, just to give it a little bit of room. Now when they come to pour, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to be here or not when they're actually pouring, but so when they come to pour, they'll actually be going along, and as they're pouring the concrete in here, they'll be pulling this bar up. You know, usually they've got a hook or something so they don't have to bend over, but they'll pull it up. Ideally, you don't want the rebar to be just sitting on the bottom. You'd like it to be about halfway up in the slab. Our slab is going to be 4 inches thick in this case. So generally you want that rebar to be up at least an inch, or preferably 2 inches up off the very bottom, it gives it better strength if it can be obviously in the middle of that slab, right? So, okay, I think that's the main stuff I can show you. And they're going to come back in the morning and get this poured. Like I said, I'm just not 100% sure if I can be here or not. So I wanted to at least show you the rebar and hopefully show you the finished product if I can't get them actually in any action shots. Something else I'll show you is they've set this post here, which is supporting the main beam of the house. We've got one steel beam spanning this 30-foot span, and one 20,000 pound rated post to do that. I'm just going to get you a little closer look at that. So with this post, it's got a base and it's adjustable so they can get the beam level. The plate is bolted to the beam, and then the beam, this threaded piece of the beam, sits inside a little cup up here. Anyways, so it can't be knocked out. And then at the very bottom, they've just ran some concrete anchors down into the, there's a footing underneath here. If you remember in other videos, you would have seen a big square footing out here in the middle, and that's sitting down on that footing and bolted to it. There's two other footings here as well. Hard to see it through the plastic now, but there's one here and one over there, because there will be a couple more posts here once we get the floor system in place. And they'll be supporting the end of the floor joists over here that stop at the stairwell. So they got the floor poured this morning. Unfortunately, I couldn't be here when they were doing the actual pour, but they're here doing some more finishing. So that guy's using a power trowel to bring up some of the fines, and this guy's finishing all the edges with a hand trowel. He's going around with a magnesium float right now, just making sure that everything's nice and smooth and closed up. They'll have likely magnesium floats on that power trowel right now too, and they'll switch to steel floats after a little bit. You can see all our plumbing over there. Everything looks normal now. There's nothing, all those strange pieces sticking out of the concrete are all, a lot of them are level. We've got some of our backflow units over there and drain. And of course we still have some pipes, ABS, sticking out of the ground. And then over in this one spot, we'll still have our sump pit cover. Remember in the one video where I did the sump pit install and I had to put a ring on it because the pit itself was lower than the floor by quite a bit, so you can see the ring there and everything's up to level. So that's all I can show you for right now. Unfortunately, like I said, I just couldn't get here during the pour.